Annyeonghaseyo, friends and family. That is hello in Korean. This is Cam, the traveling teacher, and I have been back home from Korea for a while, and I keep wanting to make a video about my teaching year in Korea because I make a video and post it after every country, and I've been home for a while now, and I just haven't done it. So I'm doing it today, now, right now. Yay! So yeah, people are asking me like as they're welcoming me back home and everything. Oh, how was Korea? And I'm always saying the same few things. All the people were really nice, the food was really good, and the temperature was really similar to Wisconsin. So it was practically like being home, except for like being on the other side of the world, which was really, all those are good and true. But I hate to just leave it at that. But sometimes that's all you have time to tell people. Like you both in the store, that's all you have really time for. But I'm gonna try to really quickly tell you my year, just a few highlights, and a little bit of my life in Korea in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So here I go. And I have my notes. So if you see me looking off to the side, it's me just trying to keep things moving and not get sidetracked. So good. I made it through the first third of the page. All right. So my school was located in Incheon, South Korea. It was called a hagwon. A hagwon is like a private English academy where kids come to my school to learn English after their school. So like school is a little different in Korea than in America. Like in Korea, they have crazy long hours, and I felt really bad for my kids because they would wake up and go to their regular public school, and then my hagwon was kind of like an extracurricular, or well, it's an academy, but it's similar to how we think of an extracurricular, like a sport, like something you do after school, right? So, like, imagine if you went to public school all day long and then you decided to take up Spanish. So, you went to a Spanish school for 2 hours a day after, and then your parents want you to become the next pop star. So, they send you to another academy to learn English and dance for another 2 hours after that. So, a lot of my middle school students and the high school students wouldn't be going home till sometimes 8 at night, and sometimes even like the little elementary kids, um, like sixth, seventh, eighth graders. Well, se- that's middle school, but anyway, like really young kids were going home at like 6 o'clock at night, and then they have homework besides that. So it makes for a really long day for uh, a student, and that's one thing that I had to get used to thinking because it was nice for me because I had a good schedule. I could sleep in, and my school was right. It was literally a stone's throw away from my dorm and where I lived with all the other foreign teachers, and it was just a really good setup for me. I really enjoyed my year there. Um, I got to have a Korean co-teacher. She was the best. Her name is Crystal, or No Sujong, and she's just the sweetest, best thing that I could have hoped for. Like, I knew I was gonna get a Korean co-teacher, but she was like, she fit my expectations and she exceeded my expectations. So, like, thank God for Crystal, because I would not have gotten through the year without her. She's fantastic and I love her. And if you're watching this, I hope you're doing well, Crystal. Um, yeah, and I miss you and all the people in Korea, actually. Uh, all right, not gonna cry. But I did have a mountain behind my school, and it was really cool because you could go to the top of the mountain, and on your way, like onto the top of the mountain, there was workout equipment. So you could go and like you could do a bench press, and then you could do like the ab things. And I got all excited because I was like, "Oh, free gym! I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna be so ripped by the end of the year." And then I just didn't do it. I went up to the mountain maybe 5 times, and or maybe 10 times. I don't know, 5 to 10 times. And I only used the workout equipment about half the time and only for a little bit because I'm lazy. But anyway, it was there and it was cool because I could have used it all year long, gotten really buff. But I decided to eat more rice and kimchi than work out, and that's okay because I can always work out. I can't always have rice and kimchi in Korea. And my school was located in Incheon, South Korea, and if I'm trying to do the Wisconsin thing where like we show on our hands, but if I do like the Wisconsin hand thing and try to show you Korea, this is Korea. North Korea is up here. Don't go there. And if this is South Korea, Incheon is like right here. Seoul, the capital, is right here, and it's like 40 minutes away between trains and subway and sometimes taxi if you feel like spending the money. But it was about 40 minutes away, and funny story, which is part of the presentation today. I one of my goals was to go to Seoul because I knew that was the capital and I wanted to spend some time getting to know the capital of Korea. And I knew we were close, and my friends had taken me out like almost every weekend to this place called Itaewon and another place called Hondae. And after a couple weeks of going to Itaewon and Hondae, I was like, guys, these are really great. These are fun places, and I love them. And thank you so much for taking me here. But when do we get to go to Seoul? And they looked at me like, Itaewon and Hondae are Seoul. And I was like, oh. So if you didn't know, Itaewon and Hondae and a lot of other places are they're called by like their proper like name within Seoul. So like um I don't know, I guess the best comparison I can think of is like Madison and you have like all these or maybe New York City. New York City and you have like these boroughs of Queens and Manhattan and the Bronx and the other two, I think there are five altogether. Americans are really ignorant. I learned that when I was over there. I don't even know my own geography very well, and that's a little embarrassing. But moving on. So I was in Seoul, like from the get go of my time in Korea, and I didn't even know it because it wasn't called Seoul. So that was fun. One of the first things that I was able to do in Korea was to do a picnic on the Han River, which is just a really beautiful river that runs through Seoul. And we had chicken and beer on the side of the river with some of the Korean teachers and the foreign teachers. The Korean teachers were awesome. They took us to places that we would never have found on our own. And like because a lot of Korea does speak like English, but it's sometimes hard to communicate because sometimes their English is limited. Some of them don't really speak English, so it was really nice to have them to help us like order food and like get along and like go places. So thank you again to all my Korean teachers. Like you helped us a lot. I can never thank you enough. But we got to go to the Han River, and I mention it again because it was like in the Avengers movie, there's a scene. Well, there are several scenes, but there's one in particular shot on the Han River, like and downstream from where we were eating. There's this white building. You probably saw it for a split second as they were doing like the over the city shot, and it's like when they're doing that high speed chase, and it's that scene that I was down the river from. So like when I got to see the movie, I was in Korea when the movie came out, and then I was like nudging my friend, I'm like, "Oh, hey, we were there," and now it's blowing up, and this is so cool. But that was a really cool thing. The teachers did a lot of things together, like when you work and like we all like slept in the same dormitory. So when you work and sleep in the same area as your coworkers, you tend to become really close. At least my teachers and I did. Um, and we became pretty good friends over the year, and we did a lot of different things together. One of them that we did, I'll tell you a few, just boom, 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 as quick as I can. One was a breakfast. We were all craving like our home food, so we had like a bacon, eggs, and beans and toast, and we all got together and like made breakfast, and then we called it Breakfast at Tiffany's because a lot of us had heard of this iconic film and we'd never seen it. So we all got together, we cooked a big breakfast, we ate, we drank mimosas, and then we watched the Breakfast at Tiffany's movie all together. And that was just a nice little thing. And we all wore tie dye things, t-shirts, bandanas, the whole get up. It was a pretty fun time. Another thing that we did was go to Shindo Island for two of our teachers' birthdays. It was a really beautiful sandy beach, but underneath the sand was the treacherous shells, and every time you would walk on them or walk on the road, they slice you open. I got a few cuts on my feet. Another um, another one of our teachers got really badly cut up, poor thing. But I mean, we healed, we lived, and it was beautiful pictures, beautiful beach. And then we decided, or we found out that we were actually on like not the wrong side of the beach, but just not a good side of the beach because ours was all like rocky and like cut your feet open a few feet under this or a few inches under the sand and just a few hundred or like a 2 or 3 football fields away was perfectly good sandy beach. You could wade out in the water, you could swim and not get cut feet. So we went there the next day. Um, we also got to see like a new city that was built within the past 10 years in Seoul, or in Korea, I should say. It's called Songdo, and it's just really beautiful. There are these new like there was a totem pole by the river, and there were these big like statues. We got a picture inside of a silver trumpet, and it's just it was really cool because it was kind of idyllic and kind of um, very artistic, and you could tell a lot of time went into planning this new city. And they had something that reminded me of the Bean in Chicago, and like that big silver, like I don't know, big silvery metallic mirror buildings, and those were really cool to like go up and be like, take your picture. Um, oh, one quick tidbit: if you do this, this is like how Koreans will say "I love you." This is like the Korean heart, and it's like you can kind of imagine it's like woo woo, and there's your heart. So 사랑해, I love you. Um, yeah, and a group of us also went to the Suwon Fortress, and that's an old Korean fort that was used for, um, defending Korea when invaders would come, and it was really cool to see a piece of Korean history come to life. And then on the day we went, it was free, and we got to go see, and we got to like do archery, and we got boom 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 lined up, and we had our quill and our arrows and our bows and everything. We shot a little bit, fake arrows. They weren't like terribly sharp, but it was fun because we got to shoot arrows at this Suwon fortress, like how warriors would have many years before. So that was a really cool part of Korea to get involved with. Um, During Halloween, it was really fun. My school and we all like dressed up in our Halloween costumes and we did a costume contest. My co-teacher and I won. Go Crystal! High five. Um, and it was just really fun because our school tried to do, fun things. One of the fun things that some teachers and I did together was also we did a zombie run in Soul Land, and a zombie run is you could come dressed as a zombie or not, but you go into like this amusement park and you get a hip band and a wristband and or oh, what do they call it? Like capture the flag, the flags that you pull off like for capture the flag, except the zombies would pull them off. So you like got these two flags and you had to put them on and walk through the park or run through the park or whatever, and these zombies would come and they like come and get you, and you'd be like whoa, and it would be like it'd like get your heart racing a little, especially if you've seen The Walking Dead and you're kind of familiar with how zombies work. And some of them were really good, and like I almost had a couple accidents because some of them scared me. Like they would come out of the shadows or from behind bushes and like want to get you, and you'd be like, "What?" And anyway, we ran away, um, and it was just a really fun thing. One of my highlights from that night was this really tall Santa on stilts, a zombie Santa, and he was like creepy but fun and cool, and he like came, and then we wanted a picture with him, so I was there like posing with him, and like he crouched down, and at first I was kind of hugging him, but then he just kind of fell into my arms, and I just like caught him, and then I had this man like in my arms, and I couldn't really drop him because he was on stilts, and that we got a picture like that, and it was just the funniest thing. And he's like you can see me just like oblivious to what he's doing over here, and he's over here like like biting into my face, and that is yeah, a little creepy but really funny. Um, so yeah, that I don't know, Halloween was fun, and Christmas was really great too. For Christmas, we got to do a luncheon with a lot of the teachers, kind of like the breakfast at Tiffany's. A lot of us got together and we cooked like, um, Christmassy foods that we were missing from home, and we just all worked together, and it all came together, and it was a beautiful setup. And then and that was with our school people, and then at my church we had a big Christmas dinner, and it was oh no, wait, that was Thanksgiving dinner. My bad. But yeah, Thanksgiving dinner with my church and Christmas luncheon with my people at the school. And the Thanksgiving dinner was really fun because they had a talent show, and my pastor may or may not have done a cover to Justin Bieber. Sorry, that uh, you know, is it too late now to say sorry? That one. He like did a cover, and we were all like jamming, and then other people came up, and like we had like 5 performances, and it was really cool to see the talent that was in the church. So that was a fun time. We also were able to do a ski trip, and we went to Pyeongchang, which is the site of the Winter Olympics that it's going to be coming up, and it was just really cool because we got to take a weekend, do a ski trip, get away from like the stress of school and everything, and it was just a beautiful time. And it was the first time that some of my friends had gone skiing, and most of us went up to like the top of the mountain and we made it like all the way down. But one day, I brought a chocolate bar with me because I'm a chocoholic and I love chocolate. And it was a Swiss chocolate bar, and I was like, "Oh, we can pretend we're in Switzerland because I have the Swiss chocolate, and we'll be up in snow, and we'll just pretend we'll close our eyes and we'll pretend we're in Switzerland." Well, one of my friends and I made it like all the way down, but before we made it down, we like slid down and we like got stuck, and our skis were like coming and making us tripped up under our feet. So we were just like we were disgusted with ourselves. We were like, "Ah, we're never gonna make it at this rate," because like the sun was setting and the park was gonna or the uh, ski resort was going to be closing for skiing and the lifts and everything. So we were trying to get down to the bottom of the hill, but we just couldn't. So we took like 5 minutes. We dabbed our noses. We took off our gloves, and I found my chocolate bar in my pocket, slightly broken. But we ate our chocolate. It revitalized us, and then we just went on our merry little way. And so yeah, chocolate can help a lot of different things worldwide. And I ended up making it. The first time I went down this one slope, I had just totally like fell and had to like I was like just going like very slowly down. That was really embarrassing. But then the next time I just like pulled myself together and I went down. I'm like, I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall. Please God, don't let me fall. And then I didn't fall, and it was good to go. So that was really fun. Um, the last big thing that I have to tell you about today, I know I'm kind of going off a little bit, but I went to a Korean traditional village with my Korean co-teacher and another Korean co-teacher, Crystal and Chloe, and they were really great. They showed me around different traditional Korean houses and a castle, and it was really cool because like they had plaques in Korean and English, and I was able to read like the history on the castle and like see like the king and how he lived and like where he kept his wife, and it's like he had different houses for like his wife and other ladies that were part of his life, and then he lived like in a different part, and it was just really cool to see like this castle, like how Koreans lived their lives as royalty. And yeah, and if I had more time, I'd talk more about the food. But really quick, the food was really amazing. Rice and kimchi was pretty much at every meal. Uh, Kimchi is like a Korean delicacy, and it's it's basically just pickled cabbage, but you can pickle pretty much anything and call it kimchi, and have it be like a kimchi flavored this, kimchi flavored that, and it's one of those things that grows on you. I didn't particularly care for it right away, but then it's kind of spicy, but like I grew up with spicy foods, but like not that spicy. So it took a little bit to get used to it. Once I got used to it, I was good to go. And now I'm kind of like I miss my kimchi. Um, oh, man, I have so many other things to talk about, but I'm almost at 20 minutes. But just a few quick things. I went to 3 Korean weddings and they were beautiful. Each one of them was just amazing. I got to perform in 2 of them, dance in one, sing in another, and that was just those are in my heart forever, and those memories. I was also able to get some Latin dance in. I love to dance, and I was able to learn kizomba, uh, a dance from Africa, and I got to just experience all kinds of different things through the world of dance. Like I've learned a good amount of smooth and Latin dance here, and then I was able to take those overseas and do more Latin dance, and then learn a whole new another dance I never even knew existed, and now I'm crazy about it. So love it. Um, oh man, I guess one more little thing. I guess we went to a couple friends and I a couple different times went to a dog cafe and a cat cafe, and that's just where like you go in, you pay for a drink. Like I got a chocolate shake, I think, or a hot chocolate, and you can also get tea and like other drinks, and you just go in. There are all these cats and dogs, and or, well, the cats in the cat cafe, the dogs in the dog cafe, and it's their home. They're free. They roam around, and that was just another cool experience to be able to experience in South Korea. I loved my year in South Korea. I definitely want to go back. And if you are a teacher interested in traveling abroad, uh, give me questions, I guess, and I'll try and maybe do another video in the next little bit and try and get your questions answered. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. Um, I hope that this gave you a nice little taste of Korea, and I hope to see you again at some point. Thank you. Bye bye.